Hello, my friends. Luis Lima here, hosting another edition of Spiritism, a closer look. Evolution has been our topic for since March, actually, every week. Um, we are approaching, I would say, I'm not going to say the end of the evolution talks because it's a never ending thing, but we have covered a lot of things. We have covered from the origin of the species based on Darwin, or from organism to organism. Then we covered different things within the animal kingdom. Then we went to the races. We went to spiritual transmigrations. Then last couple of weeks or so, we spoke about intellectual progress. And last week, we addressed a little bit of moral progress when we discussed a little bit of our systems, political, economic systems, all of them, everywhere. That's not only in here, that's a humanity thing, it's around the globe. And these systems are being jeopardized because of lack of morality, as you know. So we addressed all of these things a little bit. So we geared towards moral and morality in the last couple of weeks, and we are going to continue on that path. We are going to address a little bit more of moral evolution today, and we're going to look at this um, in a slightly different way because Spiritism teaches moral. Of course, it teaches us the need for moral improvement of humankind. And the way this is done by Spiritism is beautiful. But Spiritism itself, it's part of another evolutionary process, which is teaching humankind how to have better moral standards, how to improve our moral standards. So this whole thing, if we want to look at, we want to get out from the black box a little bit and have an overview from everything outside the box. So it all started many, many, many years ago, around 1300 BC, when Moses brings us the first revelation. It's in the form of the Ten Commandments in the Old Testament. And this is a very interesting passage in our history because we got to place ourselves in time when this thing happened. So we had a group of people. I'm not going to say a country or anything like this. Let's just consider a group of people. Okay, that's enough for us to understand what's going to be discussed. So we have groups of people living in like a barbarian mode, I would say. So if I'm talking to you, you're listening to me right now. So in the old days, we were talking, and for some reason we disagree on something. The thing becomes heated a little bit. The easy way is to pull up my sword, stick it into your body, and kill you, and go ahead. And somebody's gonna and do the same to the next person, and somebody else is gonna do it to me, and that's how it is. Killing people, for example, is not something out of this world in those days. I'm taking this as an example. When Moses brings the Ten Commandments, one of them, that's why I'm picking this specific one. One of them is you can't kill, don't kill. So can you imagine? You've been doing this almost automatically when needed in quotes, right? When you feel it's the right time to, pass your sword through somebody else's body. So the new the new information is you can't kill. For those people in those days, it's extremely difficult to swallow that. It is. It is 180 degrees turn. How come? I could kill people this morning, yesterday, the day before, and now I cannot anymore. How come? It is very challenging because of the habit that was created around this. So when Moses brings the Ten Commandments, he brings something that is extremely difficult for the population, the peoples to swallow. So what he had to do is, in order to sustain the values contained in the Ten Commandments, he had to create what we now call disciplinary laws. So he created 613 disciplinary laws that will make it more likely for the people to accept the Ten Commandments. So we end up, or they thought they had 623 divine laws. They were not 623 divine laws. We had 10 divine laws and 613 disciplinary laws written by a man. That had the objective of supporting or empowering the population to support the 10 commandments, the 10 divine laws. So Moses has to impose, he really had to, using a more modern word, he was like this, quote, dictator that had to impose those 613 laws because people couldn't understand. Can you imagine Moses coming down from the mountain with the 10 commandments in hand? And he would just say, people, let's gather around here because we need to discuss these 10 laws that I just got. It wouldn't work. It would not work at all. It would be actually a disaster. So he had to impose those laws. It was necessary at the time to make it work. So he comes in as this imposer, dictator, whatever word you want to use, but something in that sense. You had to force the law by adjusting the law, adding these disciplinary laws. So he comes with this idea of this was an imposition on us. That's 1200, 1300 BC. The second revelation comes 1300 years after that. And it's written in the New Testament. That is in the form of the life and the teachings of Jesus. So Jesus is a different story in comparison to, quote, please, quote, the dictator Moses. He did not show up. He did not perform as a dictator. It was a completely different thing. He would not impose anything on anyone. He would not forbid anyone to do anything. He would not go against anybody's wishes. No, he didn't do any of that. He did not show the law and stick it in your face and you can't do this. I'm going to forbid you to do this. No. He came in as this great counselor, this great friendly counselor, if you will, where he's going to advise. He's going to bring advice. For example, a very known story in the New Testament is the adulterous woman. So he looks at the situation, looks at her, and he says, I wouldn't do this again if I were you. That's how the story ends, right? So I wouldn't do this if I were you. So he's counseling her. He's not forbidding her to ever do it again. No, not at all. He's not forbidding anyone to do anything. He's not threatening anyone for repeating their mistakes or doing what they want to do. He is this great, great, friendly brother counselor. Okay, so the third revelation. So you see, there's evolution here. There's evolution on how we see moral. Okay, the way we see moral, as Jesus taught, is not the same way as we saw in the Moses days. It is completely different. It's more, there's evolution there. It's a layer two. There's a second layer. And then there's a third layer, or if you will, a third reading of the same laws, right? The same laws. You see, when Jesus is accused of changing the law, he's not changing any of the 10 divine laws. He's changing the disciplinary laws because those are subject to time and space. They have to change. society laws, social laws have to evolve. So he didn't come to change the law, the divine law. So layer 3 is Spiritism. And it comes through the hands of Allan Kardec, but it doesn't come from him, the man. It comes as a body of knowledge created by the spirits to teach us something, right? The improvement of mankind. And he was the one entitled to bring that to us in form of written books and everything else. Now, there's a layer here. There's a third reading. He's not imposing anything, or Spiritism, right? Not him. Spiritism does not impose anything. It does not prohibit anybody from doing anything. It is also a counselor, but it's more than a counselor. Spiritism explains why. So let's go back to the very beginning of our talk today. You cannot kill. So Moses had to add disciplinary laws. Jesus is a counselor. Do not kill. I wouldn't do this if I were you. And Allan Kardec, through Spiritism, or Spiritism through Allan Kardec rather, comes to explain why I shouldn't do it. So it's a third layer. So if you go from bottom to top, layer 1 is you cannot kill. Layer number 2 is if I were you, I wouldn't kill. But you still don't know why. Layer 3 is I'm going to explain to you why you shouldn't kill, because there's going to be trouble. Life doesn't end. When you die in the sense of a social dying. No. So the explanation makes a total difference. It makes us consider, hold on, I really shouldn't do this thing. Not only because Jesus was a counselor, because now, not only he was this great friendly counselor, but I understand exactly what he meant by then, because now somebody came over, the counselor came over to explain to us. So I always had this idea, that's a personal thing, I always had this idea that it would be so nice to get these 3 men that you see here on the picture and bring them over for an interview where we were going to make a question and each one of them is going to give their own answer. It would be nice. We can't do this in physical terms, but we can do this in a simulated environment. So yeah, let's bring these 3 guys here, right? These 3 incarnated people at one point that brought these revelations to us, and let's see what they say. So let's get through some of the questions for them. Let's see what they're going to answer. So here's question number 1. You brought these laws. Each one of you brought these laws to us. Who is the target here? Whom are these laws for? So Moses is going to say, well, that's for the Hebrews. That's what I brought this thing for the Hebrews. All right? Jesus says, well, it's for everyone. It's for everyone on earth. No restriction. Gentiles, Jews, pagans, for everyone. Allan Kardec and the Spiritism are going to go, and this is the 3rd reading for the same question. It's for the entire creation. There's no favoritism where Earth, has this own set of laws completely different. I'm going to be a little bit more benevolent with the Earth people rather than the other orbs. There's no such thing. So Spiritism makes this very clear. So you see, we have one question here, same question, 3 readings. Right? Let's go to another question, question number 2. Let's continue our interview. How long are these laws that you guys brought to us? How long are these valid for? Moses, for your whole life, until you die. You die. That's it, done. Okay? Jesus, for your whole life, both corporeal and spiritual. It's layer 2. Now, what does Spiritism say? These are eternal laws. They're not going to change. They are for you and me now. They were for you and me 10 years ago, 100,000 years ago. They're continuing. It's an eternal thing. It's unchangeable, immutable. So you can see here 3 readings. The Jews thought it was for them until they died. But them being this microscopic view of what the creation is, right? 3 readings. Okay, so go to another question, question number 3. What ideas do these laws that you brought to us express? What are they trying to tell? Right? Well, let's go here. Mr. Moses, what would you say? Well, they bring force and absolutism because that's the only way you're going to behave and obey the law. Okay. Different times, right? Almost 4,000 years ago or so. Jesus, counseling. I came to give you advice, and I'm going to show you what you should be doing. I'm not forcing you to do what I did. I'm not going to send you to jail if you don't do what I do. Nothing like this. I'm going to show you as a counselor. Reading number 3, Spiritism. What ideas do these laws express? Expensibility and liberation. What does it mean? Expensibility means, wow, this is not for me, this is for everyone. We are one body of people, one thing. Liberation, because as I understand it, remember, Spiritism is all about explaining, right? As I understand more, I get liberated. I don't have to be like under under the command. I'm going to use the word command, under the command and the control of this mighty God, all, absolutist that doesn't let me do anything. No, it's nothing like this. That God is the God of the past. It is no longer like this. And the more I understand, the more liberated I am. The more I can do, the more better choices I can make for myself. Let's go to another question here, question number 4. Gentlemen, what do these laws demonstrate? Moses, force and fear. All right? Force and fear. Jesus, faith and love. Look at the leap between layer 1 and 2 on this answer. These laws demonstrate faith and love. If you're not seeing faith and love in the laws of God, either you didn't understand them yet, and it will be a time where you're going to understand, or you just don't want to accept it, which is free will, right? Reading number 3, Spiritism. What do these laws demonstrate? Jesus said faith and love. Allan Kardec is going to explain more. Spiritism is going to explain more. Faith, yes, with reason. And love, yeah, unconditional love. That's another reading, much, much higher than the previous 2. Faith with reason. Love, unconditional love. Not just love when it matters, when it's going to be beneficial, when, I need this from you, let me love you for a little bit until I get what I need. No. Nothing like this. Let's go for another question. Question number 5. Gentlemen, what is the attitude that we should have before these laws? Moses, submission and obedience, and that's it. All right? No question, you can't discuss, you cannot, no. Submission and obedience, period. Jesus, what is the attitude before these laws? Action. Do something. Make yourself a better person. Go for something better than what you have today. Submission is static. It gives a general impression of something static. I'm stuck. I'm going to just, do like this and stay like this forever. Jesus said, no. God wants you to Be better. God wants you to evolve. So yeah, but you do not evolve by divine decree that comes down every week or so. No, 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 no. You have to take action. So these laws from the Jesus advice at the time, of course, you couldn't say everything, right? It was exactly that: take action. Did he take action? Right before our eyes. That's what he did the whole time, showing us how to. He acted. He showed us how to do it. He just didn't say, okay, do this and I'm going to be watching. No, 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 no. He never said that. That's one thing he didn't do. I'm going to tell you what to do and I'm going to be watching from a distance. No such a thing. Okay? Spiritism. What is the attitude before these laws? Action, yes, like Jesus said, with responsibility. With responsibility. Do the right thing. Take action. Be better. Evolve with responsibility. Because whatever you do, you're going to be responsible for it. That's the third reading, layer number 3 here, Spiritism. And you can tell how, if you look, for example, on this particular answer right here, okay? If you look at the top layer, Spiritism, and you compare against the bottom layer, Moses, they're completely different. Well, yeah, they were different times. We evolved. And also, the understanding about morality evolved. Not moral. Moral didn't change. There's a divine law that says this is what it is. Our understanding of that changed. We are more empowered, I would say today, to follow the laws of God, morality and so on, love and charity and so than ever before. Let's go for another question, question number 6. How should we interpret these laws? A very interesting question, right? How should we interpret these laws? Moses. Well, of course, these are the laws of God. I was given these laws. These are the laws of God, period. No discussion, no questions asked. Okay? Jesus. This is how we practice the law of God. It's not only reading from the tablets, right, that Moses brought to us. It's not just reading. It's not just hearing everybody repeat that and repeating that yourself. No. Action. Remember, action, practice. We need to practice the laws of God. Third layer, how do we, Spiritists, interpret these laws? You see, it's above practice. It's higher than practice. This is how we comprehend the laws of God. Spiritism is about explanations, explaining all of this in details. We have a lot of Spiritist literature explaining everything in details. This is how we comprehend the laws of God. If we don't comprehend, we're going to go against it. And there's going to be a point where I'm going to learn. Oh, okay, I shouldn't do this anymore because it's not working. Let me do better than this. Oh, yeah, this worked. That's how we evolve. As we evolve, we comprehend more about the laws of God. Question number 7. If you had to give a name to these laws, how would you call them? Right? It's like summarizing like a few words. How would you call these laws? Moses, love justice, an eye for an eye. Love justice. He's not saying love justice, love, and charity. He's saying law of justice. Just justice. There's no charity here, not necessarily love, law of justice. Jesus, a law of love. The law of love. So justice is okay, but it's not all of it. The love, it's much more appealing, okay? Third layer, third reading, Spiritism. The law of the eternal truth. That's it, unmutable. These divine laws, they are in there, they are unmutable. And it's not only for you and me, it's for the creation. Let's go for another question, number 8. Where are these laws inscribed? Because I want to look at them, okay? I want to learn about them. Moses, where are these laws inscribed? Hey, come on, they are carved in stone. I did it myself, right? They are in stone. Jesus, it's in your hearts. What a difference. Wow. Even for those who have a stone heart, right, which would combine both, is still in our hearts. Spiritism, in our conscience. Spirit level, mind. So, of course, this is very interesting because it gives us a perspective of how do we use Spiritism today. It's a third revelation. So, for example, if I'm okay with killing people, okay, and many of the people in the planet are, if I'm okay with killing people, I have not comprehended the third layer. My reading is not at the third layer, Spiritism. My reading is not on the second layer, Jesus. And my reading is not even on the first layer, Moses. Because with Moses, killing is a problem. It's a divine law. Can't kill. If I think killing is okay, right? I'm living at least 4,000 years in the past. Right? And you can exercise this. I did this for myself several years ago. You can exercise this for yourself, quiet in your corner. And St. Augustine tells us, at the end of the day, just go through what the entire day was like, see if you've done anything that shouldn't be done. It's more or less this, but with a different flavor. So, for example, let's say when you go to bed tonight, let's just say that you were driving on a highway and somebody wanted to pass you and overpass you, and you didn't like it, and you gave them signs and words, and you just thought, I wish this guy hits his car a mile from here. So you wish the guy to be hurt on a car crash because he wanted to pass you. Is this a third layer reading? No. Is this a second layer reading? Is this a first layer reading? Yeah, it could be. Because you're not really desiring that he dies. You're desiring that he crashes. Okay, so I'm going to give you a discount here. I'm going to give you some credit. But do you see we do this? It's almost like these things are automated in our souls, in our spirits. And the minor things in our daily life, if you're going to analyze and put your attitudes and your questions through this interview, maybe we can now understand why I'm so far away from me and most of us, right? This is an orb for trials and expiations. For most of us, we are very far from being compliant with the third reading Spiritist. Of course, Allan Kardec tells us Spiritist is that person who is, trying to do its best and so and so and so. Yeah, we are all trying to do our best as Spiritists. We understand we have a third reading, a third layer that empowers us more to do the right thing, to be better people. So, I wanted to invite you to do this exercise. Not necessarily daily, but at times things happen and sometimes they bother us. Simple things, for example, like I just gave you an example, somebody tries to pass you on a highway, then you get mad, we say things, and then later on the same day, maybe the day before, the day after, we think about that. Oh my God, yesterday I did this. Yeah, that's a good time to see, where do I fit? Which reading am I on when I do such a thing? And unfortunately, or actually fortunately, right, we're going to catch ourselves doing a lot of first reading things, not reaching even the second. It's an exercise. It's free will. Everybody has free will, like I said. Jesus was this great, great, great friendly counselor. He's not prohibiting anybody from doing anything. Guys, I want to invite you to participate in our Spirit Trivia, which is this question that we publish every week after our talk. And on the next talk, we will discuss the answers. So I really invite you to go to, you see down here, evolution.spirittrivia.com. Cast your answer. We do not collect any information from you, no names, no email address, no IP address, nothing like this. It's totally anonymous, okay? If you are on your computer, you can use the barcode on your top left of your screen to get to it. You can use a smartphone, you can use your computer, but yeah, participate with us. Be part of Spiritism, a closer look, okay? Thank you very much, and we will be here next week. I'll see you then. Thank you so much. Be well.